Hey, Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. Today I'd like to talk about the film The Wizard of Oz, which was released in 1939 but gained fame 17 years later in 1956 when it was released with Technicolor on television. 33 years after its TV release, it was added to the National Film Registry in 1989. That's the year this was established in the year 88. It was 89 that they made the first entries. So Wizard of Oz was one of the first films to go on the National Film Registry with movies such as Citizen Kane, Casablanca, and other classics. So right away, I want you to notice the movie was released in the year 39. What do we know about 39? 39 signers on the Declaration of Independence. The Bill of Rights were originally 39 proposals proposed on a date with 39 numerology. We know that New York, the state, is obsessed with 39 from its establishment date numerology to its abbreviation to its name to the number of floors at the United Nations in New York. Of course, in the Bible, there's 39 books in the Old Testament. There's a lot with this number 39. The movie was directed by Victor Fleming for MGM. MGM was simple English gematria equals 33. The name Victor with Pythagorean gematria equals 33. And the name Fleming with Pythagorean gematria sums to 39, just like the year the movie was released. If you take the time to decode these names, they all have very curious gematria. L. Frank Baum sums to 36. The film was released August 15th, 1939. That's a date with the numerology of 36, just like the author's name. Frank Baum sums to 33. Add the L, it's 36. If you add up every number up to 36, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5, all the way up to 36, it sums to 666. This is why there are 36 numbered spaces on the roulette wheel, also summing to 666. These are tributes to an occult religion out of the sight and consciousness of the masses. The Wizard of Oz, the book, written by L. Frank Baum, has one major difference from the film released in the year 1939. It's the color of Dorothy's slippers. In the book, her slippers are silver, and she walks on gold roads. Think about silver and gold, the old currency. And it's said that the author of the book was trying to reveal that the world is ran by bankers, and all we need to do is have enough courage, intelligence, and enough of a heart to overthrow it. And that book was written in 1900, more than 100 years ago. You know, it's amazing to think the warnings, the stories, the narratives, they've been before us for so long. But as a culture, we're not grasping the messages. You know, a lot of people love this movie, but I don't think that they've ever, for the masses who enjoy this movie, I don't think they've ever taken home the message. So, silver slippers walking down gold roads, bankers, men behind curtains. And you know what else is curious about this date? Besides it having a numerology of 36, August 15th is also the 227th day of the year. A number having much to do with cycles and circles. 22 divided by 7 is 3.14 approximately, the number for pi, having to do with cycles and circles. We find this number coded so often, 227. And I don't think it's any mistake that this movie was released on the 227th day of the year. In a way, I think it's just another sick joke from the Gang of 33. Let's watch the scene from the movie where Dorothy, Scarecrow, Lion, and Tin Man find out the truth of the Wizard of Oz.
The wrath of the great and powerful Oz. I said come back tomorrow.
If you were really great and powerful, you'd keep your promises.
Do you presume to criticize the great Oz? You ungrateful creatures! Think yourselves lucky that I'm giving you audience tomorrow instead of 20 years from now. Oh. The great Oz has spoken. Oh. Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain. The great Oz has spoken.
Who are you?
Oh, I am the great and powerful Wizard of Oz.
You are? I don't believe you.
No, I'm afraid it's true. There's no other wizard except me. You humbug! Yes, it's exactly so. I'm a humbug.
Oh, you're a very bad man.
Of course, the main character is Dorothy, which has the Pythagorean gematria of 42, the meaning of life number. When they said, "Who are you?" he should have responded, "Well, I am a Zionist. This is what I've always been doing, lying behind my curtains with my wise gadgetry." I mean, let's go back and watch the beginning of this. Boom, let's just pause it right there. Smoke and flames with a face in it. Remember, this movie came out before television. The author saw what was coming. Technology that will put fear in the hearts of people and make them obey authority. Smoke, fire. You know? This movie, it's just perfect. This is it. This is the truth, Truth Seeker. The people who are destroying our lives, who've had reign over us from the day that we've come onto this earth, are no different than this man in this movie. This is it. We have submitted, we have surrendered to people playing tricks on us. No different than this. No different than this, Truth Seeker. Those of you who ask me, what do we need to do? We need to become more courageous. We need to use our brains. We need to confront the man behind the curtain as a society. Yes, we need to do more than that. We need to reorganize as community, bring back local agriculture, create a world where parents can stay home and raise their children, educate them, be with them, form a family, form a relationship. We can't do any of those things, though, until we expose what is happening to the masses who cluelessly go on every day, contributing to this hell, this tyranny. Every dollar you spend on these people's gadgetry, their technology, their movies, their music, their food, their clothes. Every time you spend your money, you are helping them stay in power. These people run on the money system. Think about where money originally came from, gold and silver. How was that acquired? By tearing up the earth. The people who wanted the riches had to be the people who were willing to tear up the earth for it. Now in modern times, if you come out here out west and you drive through Montana, you'll see trucks the size of giant Tonka toys. They're like 5-story buildings, but they're vehicles, and they're hauling away mountains, literally, one scoop at a time. And what are we carving up these mountains for? To heat our homes, to power our vehicles. You know, we're giving up the earth for material riches. We're trading our Mother Earth for temporary consumption needs. And who's led us down this path? These guys with the fire and smoke machines, with the televisions, controlling culture, instilling fear, controlling, steering us. And I don't think it happened by an accident. I think it happened because these people are very intelligent and they recognize the weakness in humanity, such as how we are a follower species, as are all animals. Where I live, it's not far from here that there's still this large pasture with cows grazing, and whenever you drive by it, you see all the cows herded close together. They're just like us. We just move as a pack, and the reason the pack is moving the way it is because the man behind the curtain's controlling the pack right now. This guy who just got exposed in the movie. Let me show you something about Oz and why it's called the Wizard of Oz. Oz is 15 plus 26, it sums to 41. Just like U plus S plus A, 41. Just like king. The United States was once established for a king, 41. The Wizard of Oz, Wizard of USA, it's all the same. This movie was trying to expose the truth of our reality to us. As for the film itself, again, it was released by MGM, the 33 studio. The Wizard of Oz with Pythagorean gematria sums to 77, like the name Knights of Templar, the original Freemasons. The American meridian is the 77th meridian. The Pentagon sits on the 77th meridian. It is 77 feet tall. One of, think of the Pentagon and think about the man behind this curtain. More of the same type of stuff. "2015, it's 76 years since the movie's come out, Truth Seeker. 76 years it's been since we still haven't revealed the man behind the curtain. Some people write to me and they say, if you can't say who it is, then there's no point in doing any of this research. Bzzz, that is totally wrong. Totally wrong. If you can see what the methods to their madness are, then you can figure out how to fight back without even knowing who they are. I don't know who they is, but I know what they do. I know what stores they control. I know that they run the movies, music, television. That's why for over a decade I've abstained from all this. I've stopped spending money on movies. I don't go to movies. I don't spend money on television well until recently for the purpose of this research, which, yeah, it's a little bit conflicting, but really I do it with a good cause in mind. There's no way I would have subscribed to cable unless I was doing this research. For the most part, I can't stand it. I don't really watch the TV unless I'm trying to get more information for what I'm working on here. But anyway, that's it. Just it, Truth Seeker. We have to stop supporting the man behind the curtain. Once we get enough awareness, we can make a movement and reveal the men behind the curtain. But it's obvious what they're about and how they control us. They control us by keeping us entertained. They control us by keeping us busy with their schools, debt, and needing to work. It's hard to catch up when you have to pay away a third to half of your income every year in taxes, which all of us do, while meanwhile the mega corporations such as Microsoft don't pay taxes. I live 10 miles from Microsoft. The last 4 out of 5 years I've been randomly audited. I love how they put that letter in there every time that it's random. But it's not random when you've been audited 4 out of 5 years in a row. And I haven't been making a lot of money. Microsoft doesn't have to pay taxes, but me, making a meager income, they're all over me. You know what I mean? That's the man behind the curtain. And the reason I can't do anything about it, even though I want to, is because not enough of we, the people, are on the same ship. As one man, I can't do much. I can enlighten others. I can educate others, which is all I've done, but that's not enough. You have to realize I've been awake. This has been painful. I've been awake since September 11th, 2001. I haven't been confused for one day. I've just seen clearer and clearer for each day after. I'm ready to expose the man behind the curtain. I've been trying to tell people, to be more like me, essentially. I'm not trying to be arrogant, but I'm saying I'm doing the right things. I'm not shopping at the mega corporations. I'm trying to spend my money locally, local businesses, where I know it's retained in my community and doesn't go back to these forces that keep us in perpetual slavery. So, yeah, just want to talk a little bit about the Wizard of Oz and show how it's a lesson for us, a lesson that we still have not achieved as a society 76 years later. And I assure you this was made by the villains, and they were laughing at us when they made it, and when they changed Dorothy's slippers from red to silver. Everybody likes those red slippers. They make that a big focus early on. The trick. I mean, how many people do you know who've watched The Wizard of Oz and told you the movie was about banker scum who rule the earth and need to be overthrown? Maybe somebody has told you, but that's not what the average person is telling most people. They're watching it, and by the end they're concluding how much they like Dorothy's slippers. That's why these people make these movies and laugh at us, because they know that the average American's consciousness is so small. They're not aware of anything. They've been made ignorant their whole life. The movie was 101 minutes running time. If you actually get the film and see the whole length, you know, when it loads up on your DVD or Blu-ray or VCR, whatever, you'll see that the movie's an hour and 1 minutes and 44 seconds. And I bet you those final 44 seconds are cut that way intentionally. These people are numerologists, and they're laughing at us. And their movie, The Wizard of Oz, is just them laughing at us. One more time. Let's close by watching this scene in the movie. Remind ourselves what we need to do. We need to awake our friends and family. We need to awake our neighbors. And we need to expose the men behind the curtain.
Do not arouse the wrath of the great and powerful Oz. I said come back tomorrow.
If you are really great and powerful, you'll keep your promises.
Do you presume to criticize the great Oz? You ungrateful creatures think yourselves lucky that I'm giving you audience tomorrow instead of 20 years from now. Oh, the great Oz has spoken. Oh, pay no attention to that man behind the curtain.
See, True Seeker, right there. That's where the average American living at this day and age would have been persuaded the wrong way again. As soon as he closed the curtain and said, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain, they would have listened to that. That's what's wrong today. The mainstream American just keeps getting fooled over and over and over again by the same tricks. Because they're so controlled, they're so programmed by this device. These men and their magical devices.
The great Oz has spoken.
Who are you?
Oh, I am the great and powerful Wizard of Oz.
You are? I don't believe you.
No, I'm afraid it's true. There's no other wizard except me. You humbug! Yes, it's exactly so.
The word wizard, True Seeker, also has a Pythagorean gematria of 36. Remember, this movie was released on a date with a numerology of 36. Author's name 36. All coding.
A humbug.
Oh, you're a very bad man.
You're a very bad man, says Dorothy, a.k.a. 42, the meaning of life. So there we have it, True Seeker. The Wizard of Oz, the Wizard of the USA, the wizard we're yet to overthrow. Until next time. Encore, True Seeker. I almost forgot one important point in all my ranting. Apologies. The date of release, August 15th, the 227th day of the year. In 1971, that's the year Nixon canceled the convertibility of U.S. dollars to gold. Remember, the original emphasis of the story was on bankers and gold and silver and controlling society. Well, here, the same release date of the film is the date that Nixon made this major change in national policy, which has stood since. Also in history on this date, August 15th, is the same date that Albert Pike wrote his letter about the 3 world wars. So, the 227th day of year, August 15th, a date of much significance. All right, until next time, True Seeker.